The woman spent all her savings on a first-class ticket, just so she could kill herself on the plane. But when she hid in the bathroom, getting ready to take poison, the plane suddenly started to shake violently. The sudden weightlessness threw her straight to the ceiling. She could clearly feel the plane going into a rapid dive. But when she woke up again, she was already on the ground. She was lucky to survive. But cries of pain came from all around. The ground was covered with passengers' bodies. She finally found one survivor with great difficulty, but just as she tried to help, he started coughing up blood, and then died right in front of her. She could not believe what she was seeing. She never thought her suicide attempt would ironically save her life. While those who wanted to live ended up dead, the woman quickly started shouting loudly, hoping there were other survivors on the plane. Just then a man's voice came through. It turned out to be Paul, whom she had just met at the airport. Seeing he was still alive, Daisy was very happy. Luckily they only had some surface injuries. Then to keep warm, they hid inside the cabin. But as soon as they went in, Paul lifted his shirt. Turns out he looked fine on the outside, but actually had serious internal injuries. Several ribs were broken. Daisy was instantly shocked, but there was no way to treat it now. More importantly, that was not their main problem. If they did not find a way to stay warm, they might freeze to death. So they quickly found a sleeping bag and crawled in together. Even though they had just met, now they were bound by life and death. After all, staying alive was what mattered. Once they warmed up, they started counting their supplies. They found the food and water left would only last 2 days. They had to find more supplies, because right now there was no way to know if the airport had received news of the crash. But the next morning when Daisy woke up, her depression attacked again. She started to get restless and manic. Turns out she was born with suicidal tendencies. It was a hereditary disease. Her grandfather and father had both died by suicide, so since childhood she always felt one day she would too. She had tried to cut her wrists many times, but never succeeded. This time she had planned to take pills on the plane, but never expected to end up in a crash. Now Daisy wanted to open the door to get some air, but the door was frozen shut. After she finally kicked the door open, before she could breathe in fresh air, she discovered something terrifying. After just one night, snow had buried the entire crash site. Even the passengers' bodies were frozen solid, but in this way, the bodies would not rot. Seeing this, she became sad. She had wanted to die, but instead she survived. Life really was unfair, but the dead were gone. Their grief could not change anything. What mattered now was that she was still alive. But in this harsh environment, they could not last much longer. The snow outside was falling heavier. Paul thought they could not stay here. They should leave right away, because even if rescue came, by then the snow would cover the whole mountain, and rescuers would never find the site. So leaving now was the best choice, but Daisy disagreed. She thought waiting for rescue here was the best plan. More importantly, she no longer wanted to live. She would rather just freeze to death here. Paul of course refused. He tried to drag her away.
Let's go.
Back off.
Are you kidding? Is this some kind of like attention-getting thing? Well, you want me to beg you or something? Because if so...
Really don't care, just get out.
Are you serious?
Please, just stop being an asshole.
Hearing this, Paul got angry and walked away. But when Daisy saw him really leave, she regretted it, and quickly followed after him. But Paul had not really left. He had been waiting right there for Daisy, and Daisy did not really want to die. It was just seeing so many lives gone in an instant from the crash that made her feel so desolate. She felt death was so close. If not for her luck, she would already be lying there too. So the two of them kept walking in the endless snow mountains, but never saw another person. Paul knew in this kind of place, it was hard for anyone to live, so they had to climb down the mountain. Daisy had no choice but to agree. So without any safety gear, they started climbing down by hand. The whole process was very dangerous. One fall would mean certain death. Luckily the way down at first was smooth, but soon they faced a problem. A cliff blocked their path. Seeing this, they both shivered. There was no way around, but turning back was even more dangerous. Now the only way left was to jump down, and the trees below could break their fall. Though Daisy was scared at first, with Paul's encouragement, she calmed down. To reassure her completely, Paul decided to jump first. Seeing this, Daisy broke out in a cold sweat. She did not know if Paul was dead or alive, but soon his voice came from below. Hearing he was fine, she felt relieved. After preparing herself, she gathered all her strength and jumped without hesitation. Thanks to the tree, they were both safe. Just a few scratches. After resting a bit, they kept going. They crossed a vast desert and came back onto the snowy mountains. Along the way, Paul accidentally found a cave. Just as he was calling Daisy to rest, he saw something terrifying. He quickly shouted for her to run. An avalanche was coming, but by the time Daisy noticed, it was too late. The avalanche was too fast. It swallowed them instantly. No one knew how long had passed before she slowly woke up. Paul on the other side was digging desperately, trying to find Daisy buried in the snow, but she was still dazed, unable to make a sound. Luckily Paul kept digging, and finally pulled Daisy out. She was not in good shape. She needed warmth to restore her temperature, or she might freeze to death. Paul dragged her into the cave. Luckily it was much warmer inside. A few hours later she finally woke up. At that moment Daisy understood. Death was not as easy as she thought. She also thanked Paul, though she was fine now, because of all the effort. Paul's Paul's injuries were getting worse, but to not slow them down, he pretended to be fine. After a short rest, they went on again. The journey was very hard, surrounded by endless mountains. The more they traveled, the worse their condition got. Paul knew wandering aimlessly would not work. They had to find a river to find direction, but before long, they ran into trouble again. A cliff blocked their way. He told Daisy to wait, while he scouted ahead. He thought it was a dead end, but the next second, he found a river. He quickly told Daisy the good news, but did not notice his footing, and accidentally fell. Daisy was terrified. She ran over at once. By then Paul's arm was already broken, but soon he calmed down, and told Daisy to find a branch, to fix his arm. Then with Paul's instructions, she treated his injury, and helped him continue. Luckily it was not his leg that broke, or they could never keep going. But as time went on, Paul's condition got worse. He even started coughing blood. His abdomen turned dark purple.
I think I'm tired.
You're not. No, you're not.
I need you to get to the river.
No, I'm not going without you.
Jane, I can't go.
Paul did not want to drag Daisy down. He wanted her to live, and stop thinking about suicide. There were so many good things in life. Once dead there was nothing, but he himself did not want to die either. Hearing this, Daisy broke down crying. Of course she understood how he felt.
I love you.
Before leaving, she gave him all the painkillers, begging him to hold on. She promised to bring help back. Then Daisy set out alone, but Paul knew his condition. He could not wait for rescue. Of course he wanted to live too, but he knew this farewell was forever, and Daisy had no idea if she could make it out alive. The further she went, the more hopeless she felt. She had not eaten for 3 days. Her head was spinning. But then, a wolf appeared before her. She instantly woke up, facing the wolf. She ran back as fast as she could. The wolves chased after her. Daisy knew she could not outrun them, so she climbed up a tree. Since wolves are not cats, they could not reach her for now. Then she grabbed a branch and drove them away. But just as she was about to escape, one wolf came back. She knew she could not run, so she prepared to fight to the death. She wrapped her coat around her arm and waited for the wolf to bite, but the coat was too thin, and the wolf bit through. Luckily Daisy struggled with all her strength and broke free from its jaws. Then she picked up a knife from the ground, ready to fight it out. Soon she and the wolf were locked in a battle for survival. In the end Daisy won, but she had no time to treat her wounds. She had to leave quickly, because the smell of blood would attract more wolves. After walking for who knows how long, she finally saw a river. Where there was a river there was hope. As long as she followed it, she would find signs of people. After passing through the forest, Daisy saw a road. For the first time she felt relief. In the end she was rescued, but Paul stayed forever in the mountains.